Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be an exciting one as we're not only going to be popping some crystals, looking at the 8.2 100% rewards, but at the end I'm also going to be taking up my second rank 5 6-star champion all the way up to 565. There's going to be 2 new rank 4s, and then do stick around at the end because we are going to see a little bit of gameplay, 2 fights in particular for my new rank 5, which you definitely want to see because I am super impressed and happy with this champion. So first off, we are going to be opening 2 more of these 25% tier 6. These came from the Bauble event. We'll get into that breakdown a little bit later, but at this point I was going to open these before doing my final path of 8.2 because I wanted to know what I was selecting. Now skill is the most far along and science is the next one behind it, and with pulling this 25% science I actually formed an entire catalyst of science, which is 1 out of 3 that is needed. So skill, I can now choose basically a 100% skill, and with that we're going to be able to get even closer to skill for our 3rd rank 5. We'll get to that later as well. Now why am I opening this tech 6-star crystal? It's because I don't have iDoom and I really want to get iDoom. And on this one, unfortunately, we don't. We get Shuri. I know in the back of my head that I am planning to get Bundle 14, which has a 2022 selector in it. I would love to just get iDoom naturally so that I could use that on Toad, but if I have to, I know iDoom is coming to the account that way. So Shuri, not that bad, especially because Sigs, I think, help her. But with that, we're opening these Nexus crystals next. Still looking for iDoom. 2 really decent awakenings here. I have a very stacked science roster, so I'm going with Black Cat. First time awakening, she's already ranked 3. I do really like that. I could have gone Sunspot for the Max Sig crystal, but after giving it a little bit of a think, Black Cat to me is one of the most fun champions I've ever ranked up. And this next one, it's also a no-brainer. We have Ghost Rider, the Mystic Ghost Rider. Definitely taking him. I don't need that awakened ability on Hela. I never play her. And then finally, the last one is also a bit of a banger. Really good champs here. Storm X does not really benefit that much from her awakened ability, so we're going with Human Torch. I use him in War. Often it doesn't come up, this awakened ability in War, but if there's ever a really long quest that's going to take a bunch of revives to get somebody down, getting that pre-fight back eventually, like it did in the Abyss, is pretty good. So hey, Ghost Rider and Torch and Black Cat Awakening from 3 Nexus crystals. Still not iDoom. Pretty excited about it. So then we finished 8.2 and we got our skill related things, and before I went for my 2022 selector, there was one more thing that I wanted to do, because you can see there my 7-star shards are just short of being able to pop 3. So I opened 2 featured crystals figuring, hey, maybe iDoom will pop out of nowhere in one of these, or worst case scenario, I dupe some other champions and I get more 7-star shards. The number we're looking for is 35k so that we can pop 3 cleanly on that very first day of 7 stars, which is like a week away. Kind of insane. So we're trying the next one. We're just gonna pop it, and we awaken King Groot, which honestly is pretty good, except I lied to you. He was already awakened, so now he's Sig 40, but whatever. More regen is fine. So now we come down to the part where we're gonna choose somebody to rank. I did an entire video on who my options were. We're also going to take a look at the rank 3s. There are many here, like Nimrod, like Blade. Could you imagine a rank 5 Blade? Human Torch, Gallon, Mr. Negative, Hyperion. Who is it going to be? Well, I decided to go with a Mystic champion because I have the least amount of Mystic stuff formed. And I said in my video, if I got Mystic as my top choice, it was going to be this man right here, Spider-Man Supreme, the Sorcerer Supreme as Peter Parker. Such a cool character. B McG has sort of led the way on showing people that this champion is actually pretty good. And honestly, ever since I took him to rank 3 and then eventually rank 4, I've been so happy with him. He is one of those mystics that doesn't necessarily nullify the buffs off of the opponent, but he gets ramped when they have buffs. He's able to get copies of the same buffs at his own potency and put them on himself, which includes like massive furies. Regeneration is another big one that he can get. He has this really cool access to miss, which we love to see. It reminds me a little bit of Kitty Pryde, only it's a little bit less cheap. You have to work for it a little bit more. So there will be definitely more content on this guy, but he looks so good at the top of the profile. I'm really excited about this choice. He will probably go on defense, but when it comes to Battlegrounds, he's really good on attack, really good on defense as well. People know how to fight him, they just can't always get a counter. Next up, we've got a rank 4, and this is going to be a big one. It's going from rank 0 to rank 455. And as you suspected, I was not able to pull this guy naturally. I do want to really quickly talk about the fact that I have a limited budget for MCOC every year, but I do have a budget. And because I bought this now, essentially what it means for me is I'm going to have to go very, very light on July 4th. I'm going to use the units that I have from these deals to potentially do unit offers only and not spend on July 4th, but I'm pretty happy with that because as you saw, we used the 4 to 5 gem on Spidey Supreme and we got this guy straight up just from a 2022 selector. I've been wanting him for a long time. It's not just about the prestige, it's about filling out my tech roster. It's about the synergies he has. It's about liking him as a character. It's about Battlegrounds. There's so much to like about this guy, and there was more that I wanted to explore beyond what I was able to test on the CCP server, and he really, really fits a good spot on my roster as a rank 4. So that's why I knew as soon as I got him, whether it was naturally or if we used that event to get him from the 2022 selector, that he was going to go straight up. I did have a tech gem for him. You're going to see me awaken him. I do think he's going to be really good on war attack this season. He's a decent enough defender. He can throw people off with his unblockable and such. And yeah, I'm just really excited to finally have this guy on my roster and take him straight up, and we'll be exploring him a little bit as well. So now we are going to click on use items. We do have some generics, but why not just use this tech? I don't really have a lot of other options right now, even though like Vision and Ant-Man Future are coming out. We're just going to give him all these Sig Stones because I've been sort of hoarding them in case I ever did pull him. It's a nice clean 80, it looks like. And then I am going to go with some generic ones as well to get him as high as I can. I think right now we're going to get him to about 120, or no, I guess 100. Maybe I got him to 120 after doing some Battlegrounds. But yeah, he will be the designated Sig Stone usage person. His Sig is already looking pretty good at 100. And there we go. We have iDoom, but there is more because we got a 3 to 4 generic gem. I do want to hold some of these tier 3A and tier 6B just in case I am able to form another rank 5 eventually. But we're going for the mutant man himself, Bishop. Using this 3 to 4 gem, I recently took this guy. As you can see me saying, do I want to use mats or the gem? We're using the gem. I took this guy to Sig 200 for Battlegrounds, and with the state of the game, the floodgates have kind of opened, as Vega and I were talking about in his rewards video when we were talking about the Bauble event and everything. It's just like rank 4s are becoming way more common, and I'm finding in Battlegrounds decks a rank 3 Bishop is going to get nuked by, like, you know, a Hulkling or something. Like, there's just going to be champions that don't necessarily counter him that are going to be able to get him down. But he was already Sig 200. I have not ranked up a mutant in a very long time because of the state of the mutant class, how it is right now. But he's great. Nimrod cannot really counter him very well. Iron Doom is really good against him. But overall, I've been wanting to take him up. He will be a good defender because he's Sig 200. He goes unblockable after 10 prowess. And like I said, we needed a mutant. He seemed to fit the bill for what I need for my roster at this given moment in time. And unlike the other ones, I'm not sure why I didn't speed this one up. I guess we're just going to see the full glory of taking Bishop up in real time. But that's going to do it. That's going to do it for the rank ups. Do stick around because there is a little bit of gameplay. But at this point, I'm closing in on, I think, 20 champions that are rank 4 and above. But yeah, we're just going to claim this ISO, take a look at the profile, and as part of the tradition, one of the things that we always have to do when we get a new top champion is we have to find a title that is going to fit said champion. So as we look at the top of our roster, we've got these 2 rank 5 champions. They are both Spider-Verse tangent champions. One of them is kind of alternate universe. One of them is a symbiote, which we love to see. Those are the rest of the rank 4s and rank 5s. It's looking pretty juicy. I love having 4 mystics all the way up. Definitely need a couple more cosmics, as we can see here. Some of the future type picks that we might go for are Gallon to rank 4. We could consider taking Reed to rank 4 as well. As you can see, Gallon could go up today if we wanted to. And there is one more champion that I am slightly considering, which may be a little bit less so now that I have iDoom, but that would be Nimrod. He's already Sig 200. Kind of like with Bishop on defense, like I feel like the defenders are becoming rank 4 so often that having a rank 4 Nimrod is going to be important. So my prestige has gone up significantly because of this new rank 5. I'm pretty sure that Absorbing Man isn't the champion that would be there if you look at my profile on the outside, but maybe he is. Either way, I love that I can see him. He's one of my favorite champs. And we are not going to change our name, but we are going to change the title. Just kind of going stream of consciousness near what's the first thing I could find that is spider related. And then I had this idea that we are going to use Web Slinger, which was from the Web Slinger challenge way back in like 2017. I remember it was one of the first like movie challenges that I ever completed, one of my first blue titles. So you know what? Web Slinger it is. And there we have it with Spider-Man Supreme at the top of the profile. Let's watch some gameplay. This is an ideal matchup. I'm not even going to be able to narrate it because it's going so fast. But you can see he's going nuts with these phases. It's off of the mediums. I'm trying to land a heavy. It's something that you can do because the heavy puts the curse of the web on. This node has lots of furies. We want to be copying those furies. And there we go. We land a heavy. We have one passive fury from the node, but it's not going to really be doing that much damage. And now we start throwing our special 2s in the orange mode. This is how we do our big damage. It's because we have those furies from the node that we're copying that we're getting such insane damage. This is an ideal matchup for him. We get pushed to a special 3, but that's fine because right out of it you can do this medium trick. She goes indestructible. We throw the striker and then slow combo. 2, 3, dead. There you go. Hella, this is an Act 8 opponent with like a lot of health. I think it was like 500k health, and she goes down in less than a minute. That's an ideal matchup. That was lots of fireworks. I loved it. Let's look at a matchup that's not going to ramp us and just check out this damage. Now we're going to be a little bit more conservative here. When you land the intercepts while in your phasing mode, you ramp up faster. But even so, I'm not trying to nuke her down. This is a longer fight, so we do throw the special 1. Sometimes you throw the special 1 before you get there. And now here we go. We are in orange mode, but we're pretty far from getting back to a special 2. So we do have to kind of combo our way up. As we nullify the Spider Seal buffs off of our mediums, it is doing bursts of damage. And then here we go, big special 2. It's not being ramped by the node or anything, but that is still doing a serious amount of damage. We love to see that. Now, when we trigger the cooldown of Astral Form right there, we get a burst of power. And what that burst of power allows us to do off of the Sig ability is let us get one more special 2 before our Spider Totem orange spell ends, basically. So we got her most of the way down in that single cycle, and now we're going to kind of just use basic hits to get her down the rest of the way. We throw another special And there's nothing too fancy here, but if this was a Battlegrounds opponent, they would be dead already, because, you know, again, this is like a 500k type health situation, and we may be able to, as we're careful to not get smacked right there, get one more Spider Totem sense and then just throw off a final special 2 and call it a day. Here we go. That would have hit plenty hard, taking off even more health against her. So anyway, this was a rapid fire video. I wanted to keep it under 15 minutes. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.